Good evening, class of 2024, the freshman class. My name is Louis Emanuel. I serve as the assistant principal and supervisor of social studies, and I will be your host for this evening's virtual freshman orientation. Before we truly get started, we'd like to hear a message from our principal, Mr. Michael Neller.
Good evening, MBTHS class of 2024. I'm your principal, Mr. Michael Neller. It is with great pride that I say that I was once in the same shoes that you are in. I was an 8th grader coming from Linwood, transitioning to North Brunswick Township High School, which I ultimately graduated from in 1994. I've always been proud of the fact that I walked the same hallways as a student that our students are currently walking, that I learned in the same classrooms, experienced things in the same gym, and a little bit different of an auditorium and a MRC, our library, because they were not in the same place they were now, because we had a large expansion of our high school in 2005. But nonetheless, I'm excited to welcome you to our freshman orientation program tonight. Unfortunately, it will not be our normal program where parents and students get the opportunity to come to the high school, to walk around the building, to see their homerooms, but we nonetheless wanted to provide you a very strong program this evening, including a virtual tour of the high school that was put together by our staff. Even though the school year will not begin normally and we will begin virtually, I want you to know that in tonight's program, you will learn about the ways that we will support you in our school, whether we are virtual or when you are able to return in person. We are very excited for tonight's program. We hope that you will learn a lot from it, and we also want to give you the opportunity through a contact page at the end to reach out to the administrators in this building with any additional questions you may have as we begin to welcome you to prepare for your journey through high school. Our ultimate goal is for you in June of 2024 to walk across the stage and earn your high school diploma. It will be a very challenging and exciting 4 years, and we are really looking forward to taking that journey with you. So I hope you have a wonderful evening and enjoy our freshman orientation program for the class of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neller. We appreciate your comments. As we move on, our building administration, our vice principals, are as follows. Mr. Speller for the class of 2021, Mrs. Dinley Palazzo for the class of 22. I serve for the class of 23, and your freshman class administrator is yet to be determined. We're still going through the hiring process. That individual will be hired by the time we start school on September 1. This is our school leadership team. All the administrators who are in charge of classes, who are in charge of departments, they're all here. Our deans of students, they're here as well. As we move on, we look at our agenda for today. Our agenda is pretty simple. It is a little bit lengthy. However, it's the information that you're going to need to know as we enter high school and move forward to your post-secondary education. Today we'll talk about Freshman Academy. We're going to talk a little bit about graduation requirements and academic integrity. We're going to talk about attendance, virtual learning, what it is, how it is, a hybrid model, because eventually we may phase into a hybrid model of education. We'll talk about our guidance and school counseling department, and we'll visit a traditional school day just to give you a little sampler's platter of what it is that we do here at North Brunswick Township High School on a regular traditional school day. And we will end today's orientation with a virtual tour of NBTHS. Our Freshman Academy. Our Freshman Academy is a comprehensive transition program for 9th graders. At NBTHS, we facilitate and promote the success of all students starting in 9th grade to build the foundation for high school, post-secondary education, and a lifetime of achievement. Our Freshman Academy's purpose is to help you move from the middle school to the high school and then understand how things are different at the high school in terms of credit, gaining credits, GPA, understanding those things matter as you now move into the next phase of your education. Our Freshman Academy, through a challenging and nurturing environment, 9th grade students will experience success on an academic, social, and emotional levels. Teachers and house leaders will work together to facilitate student growth and achievement. Students will develop into strong advocates for their success as lifelong learners. It's important that you self-advocate. You look up for yourself as you mature and grow. The onus of responsibility of learning is pulled away from the mom and dad model towards you, the learner, understanding that it's now your education that you're focusing on. We're going to work together with moms and dads and guardians and you. However, as freshmen, the responsibility of learning is starting to fall a little bit greater on you, and it grows as we move through the year. In terms of our freshman academy personnel, you'll see that again, our assistant principals is to be determined and to be announced. However, our house leaders are Mr. Noe Felice, Miss Miller, and Mrs. Pinero. They'll find time to work with you in a virtual environment and talk to you and have conversations on how to help you identify things that you need to improve upon as a learner, and they'll provide you strategies and ideas to help you move forward. And in terms of Freshman Academy, there is a class of 2024 Google Classroom. You will receive an invitation. Please accept the invitation to join that 2024 Google Classroom. A lot of information will be shared with you through this platform. Information such as Club Fest and different activities that go on in our school will be shared with you through the Google Classroom. Something that you should be aware of and how to use. If you don't, please find myself or another administrator. Communicate with us. We're here to help you and support you. As we move on, we'll see and talk about our graduation requirements. As you see here on this slide, graduation requirements are set forth by the state of New Jersey. In the state of New Jersey, you're going to need 120 credits to graduate. Additionally, there are different types of courses that you'll need to navigate to get to that 120 credits, and we'll work with that and your guidance counselors later on in this presentation to see what those requirements are. However, a good rule of thumb is you need to earn 30 credits per year. 30 times 4 is 120, and you're good to go. Ultimately, there are some other testing requirements. There are state testing, and they're here. Our ELA and our mathematics testings are shown on this chart. Another important phase of education is academic integrity. What is academic integrity? Well, it is the moral code or ethical policy of academics. It is the commitment and demonstration of honest and moral behavior in an academic setting. In our world of virtual learning now, we have to understand that doing things on our own provide us with the knowledge that we need. So why is academic integrity important? First, having or demonstrating academic integrity means that others can trust you. The people with whom you deal know that they can rely on you to act honestly and to do what you say you will do. Second, having academic integrity is important because it provides value to your diploma that you'll receive in 4 years. Ultimately, these two fundamental processes are the things that employers, post-secondary schools, that's what they want to see your ability to do. They want you to do what you're going to do in an honest and fair fashion, and they want you to know that, and they want to know that you've worked hard, and the diploma actually means something because you have the basic knowledge that proves that you've earned that diploma. Ultimately, if there are academic integrity violations, these are the steps that we're going to go through to address them. All violations are documented on the student's conduct record. Any violation may result in the denial or removal from the National Honor Society, as well as loss of academic scholarship consideration and leadership opportunities. Any student violation of the Academic Integrity Code will be referred for disciplinary action and will automatically receive a 0 for that assignment. Any student believed to be in violation of the NBTHS Academic Integrity Code in any of the following ways will be referred for disciplinary action and will automatically receive a 0 for that assignment. Use or found to be in possession of any form of electronics that could be used to provide assistance during assessments when not authorized by the teacher or teachers. And number 2, use of any unpermitted written materials during assessments such as quizzes, tests, essays, and lab report. Furthermore, possession of, knowledge of, and or participation in the distribution of test questions, test answers, essays, or class notes. Use of information provided by any student who has prior knowledge of the assessment. And being in possession of any of the above information and failing to report it to the school authorities. All of those things are violations of our academic integrity code. Attendance. Under normal circumstances, our students are required to be in school every single day. There are maximum numbers of absences permitted per class for each school year. Let's review our school attendance policy. Students are expected to be in school on a daily basis. All absences are unexcused except for student illness with legitimate doctor's note within 5 days of the absence, death in the family, religious holy days, verified driver's license tests, documented college visits, verified medical or dental appointments, and court appearances with proper documentation. All of those are excused absences. There are, however, unexcused absences. And unexcused absences can result in no credit for a class. Let's examine. There are 180 days in a school year. 16 days of unexcused absences will result in a loss of credit for a full year course. In our school, physical education is taught over 3 marking periods. If you miss physical education 12 times in an unexcused fashion, you can lose credit for that course. There are some courses in our school that are semesters. Marking periods 1 and 2 is semester 1. Marking periods 3 and 4 is semester 2. Say, for example, you're in a semester course, and we will say that you are in Back to the Future, and you miss Back to the Future 9 times. Unexcused absences. You can lose credit for that course. Finally, we have a marking period course, and that is our health course. If you were to miss health 4 or more times, you can lose credit for the course. We really want students to achieve at North Brunswick Township High School. We are committed to education. We're committed to making sure that kids and students get the information and skills they need to compete in society. However, they need to be in school. We're looking at data, and this data is showing us students who attend school 93% of the time or better scored an 85 to 100 on their exams. That's an A or a B average. Students who have a 91% attendance rate scored a B/C average on their exams. Students who attend school 85% of the time or less, on average, are failing their courses. So as you can see, being present is important. Please get to school every single day. In a virtual environment, you'll be required to log on, and we will talk about our virtual learning experience in the next few slides. Let's talk about virtual learning. As we begin school on September 8th, we will begin using a virtual learning model of education. What is virtual learning? A virtual learning environment, aka distance learning, is educational technology, is a web-based platform for the digital aspects of courses of study. They present resources, activities, interaction within a course structure and provide for the different stages of assessment. So what we're going to do in our school is a synchronous learning model. We're going to ask you and the teachers to understand and live in this concept of live online courses that are conducted in real time. The instructor and students are together in the same session, which will begin and end at a fixed time. So you are attending courses at times during the day, and they will begin at a certain time and they will end at a certain time, and that teacher will be communicating with you. We have expectations for your virtual learning, your remote learning experience. Students on full distance learning will be expected to follow our daily school schedule and participate in live lessons with their teachers throughout the school day. If a student misses a lesson for a valid reason, they must notify their teacher and will be able to view a recorded copy of the lesson. Students will be expected to complete assignments in a timely fashion, but we must be flexible with accepting work. One-to-one devices must be charged nightly to ensure full participation in school each day. Cameras should be on, and students should be wearing appropriate clothes. In the next 5 slides, we wanted to share with you some virtual learning awareness skills, ideas, topics that moms and dads and students must know about as we go into the virtual learning experience. Participating in a digital community has benefits and risks, and we're going to need to know what those benefits and risks are. If we take a look at this little chart right here, we'll see that the benefits of our digital community include socialization and communication. It includes learning opportunities, useful health information, self-expression and creativity, cross-cultural communication, involvement in civic issues and causes. There are risks, including cyberbullying and harassment, sharing explicit photographs, inaccurate or harmful health information, exposure to inappropriate and illegal content, sharing personal information, and inappropriate commercial sexual solicitations. These are the risks of working on a digital community and being on a computer, 4, 5, 6 hours each day. We want to make sure that we are understanding of what's going on and that we have proper monitoring of what schools and what children can do during the school day. Take a look at this technology awareness video. Helps you get a better idea of what's going on.
The Teen Safe Parenting Guide to Tech Safety. Before digital devices dominated our lives, children interacted differently. They played together after school or went to the mall. Now kids spend most of the day looking at their screens, whether they're with their friends or not. Teens are connected more than ever. 90% of teens are online and spend up to 5 hours online every day. But the more connected they are, the more risks they face. Cyberbullying has become a serious issue among teens. So has sexting. Online predators use social media to gain information about their victims. While some children are exposed to unwanted sexual material, a teen's brain can't handle these situations. It all comes down to the prefrontal cortex, which isn't developed in young people until 20 years of age. The prefrontal cortex controls things like decision-making and impulse control. It means teens simply can't make the best decisions for themselves. So what do? Smartphone monitoring helps you protect your teen. It benefits both teens and parents. Teens can be more independent, connect with their peers, learn about boundaries, and get guidance to make better decisions. And parents can reach their child anytime, stay current with emerging tech, know when their child is in need, and protect them from outside influences. It's our job as parents to have a window into our child's world so we can protect them, to teach them the importance of holding back personal information, that sharing other people's information can make them a bully even if they don't mean it, and that once it's on the web, it's there forever. When it comes to monitoring, it's all about communication. It's the foundation for keeping your teens safe. You need to learn their perspective and make yourself the person they come to when they're in need. You should also help them understand your perspective. You need to explain it's your job to keep them safe. Start by setting clear limits and boundaries. Create a smartphone agreement together with your teen so they feel like they have some control. Set boundaries up front, such as no phones in the bedroom, no phones overnight, phones stay in common areas, or no downloading apps without approval. Decide early on what the consequences will be for breaking the agreement. The most important thing, however, is to lead by example. You need to connect too. Give your kids your full attention. Establish phone-free times for family activities like sports, hiking, or games. You want to draw the line, but not too far back. Denying your teen access to digital media cuts them off from their main social channel. Like all parenting decisions, it's about finding a balance between keeping your teens safe and empowering them as an individual. Want to learn more? Visit www.teensafe.com for more information about parenting in the digital age, because we're here to help you protect your most valuable treasure.
As we move into our next slide, communicating with teachers. In this digital age, the best way to initiate communication between a parent and a teacher is electronically. Teachers use a variety of platforms to communicate to parents and students, but ultimately, the best way to communicate with a teacher in this environment at this time is by email. The school-sponsored direct communication email is the teacher's first initial followed by the last name at nbtschools.org. That's the way that parents can directly communicate with teachers. Ultimately, we'll use two other methods to communicate with students and parents. We use a program called Kinvolved. We can send text messages or emails. Please, parents, accept this invitation to participate in Kinvo. This allows us to instantaneously communicate with you again via text or email, so you know what's going on in school, what's going on with your child's education. So you understand that communication needs to be both ways. We're going to try to provide you with as much information as we can to help you make decisions for you and your family. Ultimately, you can still communicate with the teacher using voicemail. However, as the teachers are not in the building, access to their voicemail here is not going to be as efficient as it normally would be if they were in the building. Teachers use platforms, programs, applications to communicate with students. Those platforms include Google Classroom, of course, the Teacher Google website. Teachers will use programs and apps like Remind, Scribble, Seesaw, and Volt. Please familiarize yourselves with these platforms. Ultimately, in our virtual learning experience, we're going to need to do our extracurricular activities virtually. At this point, we're looking at Club Fest. We're looking for clubs and activities to start virtually this year, and athletics to be determined. We're still waiting for the state to determine how we're going to roll out our athletics program. And if you need to know how to try out, we'll click this link right here. As you can see, we'll be doing a lot of our work virtually till at least late October, early November through the first marking period. However, we do hope that we do phase in and move into a hybrid style of learning. And what that means is it is a way to deliver a face-to-face classroom instruction with online activities. That means there'll be a balance. Some days you'll be in school, some days you'll be at home. This approach reduces the amount of seat time in a traditional face-to-face course and moves more of the course to delivery time online. During classroom instruction time, students can engage in authentic collaborative learning experiences. The online components can include multimedia enhanced content and channels for ongoing discussion. So once we move out of our total virtual, we'll be phasing in to hybrid learning. That means you'll be coming into school. And what we're looking at is what we're looking at here on this slide, in-school component. The building is going to open at 7. Students must use their student IDs, and they must be worn at all times. Once we do phase into a hybrid learning experience, we're going to ask that your masks are mandatory. There'll be zero tolerance for that. You'll be here in person. There'll be one-way hallways and stairwells to control traffic flow and encourage social distancing. There will be signage to assist you. Bathrooms. You'll need a passer and teacher. There'll be 5 sets of bathrooms open all day for students. Talk about safety. The most important thing is our safety of our students. Each classroom will have signage on COVID and safety precautions along the hallways. It will be mandatory for students to wear their IDs. Hand sanitizer in every classroom. Common areas will be around. Desks will be kept in place. Isolation rooms will be established for students who present or need to be sent home. Students will leave the building in a staggered fashion, but it will be immediate through 4 exits with a bag-and-go breakfast lunch stations available. Use of personal electronic devices during the school day. As our school moves into our second year of one-to-one technology initiative, we recognize that individual devices such as cell phones distract students from their academic responsibilities. As a result, NBTHS has created policies to keep students focused on their academic tasks. Our electronic device policy is as follows. For the 2021 school year, NBTHS is limiting student usage. Under no circumstances will devices be allowed before school, in the hallways, in study halls, during any type of emergency drill, during an assembly program, during testing situations. In the classroom, if a teacher does not allow usage. If a classroom is fully one-to-one, there is no need for a student to have their personal electronic device. Cell phones must be kept on silent at all times. Cell phones may be used during a student's lunch period and lunch period only. Okay, we ask that students comply when asked to put their devices away. We understand that it is a temptation to have that phone out, to see what's going on Snap, Instagram, or whatever. But ultimately, that stuff needs to go away. When you're in the building, put the phone away. And if you do have the phone out and you're asked to put it away, please comply. When we do return to school, hopefully in the second marking period, hopefully, of course there's a dress code. Please dress appropriately when we come to school. On the next 2 slides, we'll see our dress code in terms of head coverings, in terms of any apparel item which interferes with the identification of a student. Remember, we'll be wearing our masks. So if you're wearing sunglasses and a hat or a hood, we can't identify you, and it creates an unsafe environment. So you have to make sure that you have your mask on, you don't have sunglasses on or a hat or a hood. You have your ID out so we can identify you. Apparel or accessories that are lewd, ragged, or revealing, or violate the following topics are violations of the dress code, and you'll be directed to your assistant principal for that. The next few slides will be focusing on our guidance and school counseling department. People call this the heart of the school. This is where our schedule is created. Students' individual schedules are created out of this office. It also serves as the place where a student who is in need of somebody to talk to can go here and communicate with one of their counselors. Our school counselors are broken down by alphabetical order, no matter the grade. As you can see here, grades 9 through 12. Not only do we have our guidance counselors, we also employ a student assistance counselor. We also work with Rutgers. UBHC school-based clinician is Yomira Jimenez. We also work with our Middlesex County College Connections Coordinator, Keisha Kojo. All of these people help our children in our school overcome adversity, provide them with services so that they can get the schedule that they need for the classes that they want to have and the experiences they want to have in high school. The focus of our guidance department is to work collaboratively with academic departments and the district and community to promote and support academic achievement, social and emotional growth, and post-secondary planning. The Guidance and School Counseling Department supports students in a myriad of ways, and here are some. Student course scheduling. They administer testing, facilitate post-high school planning, arrange for classroom accommodations, provide resources on academics and healthy choices, advice on dating, family issues, and friendships, parent nights, college fairs, peer tutoring, success coaching. All of these things come from our Guidance and Counseling Department. Let's be honest, most of us are here. We want to watch. We want to know all the stuff that's here, but we want to know what is going on with our schedules. And let's take a look. A typical 9th grade schedule includes the following courses: an English course, which is a full year, a math class, which is a full year, a science year, which is a full year course, social studies is a full year course. Your phys ed and health is a full year course. You'll be taking world language, an elective or electives, or even a study hall. So that's what a basic schedule is going to look like. You'll be able to look at your schedule when you log on to Genesis and look through the parent portal and identify yourself as you go through Genesis, which will be opened in a little bit. Eventually, you're going to look at your schedule and you're going to say, hey, how'd I get here? Well, this is how we got here. The Linwood Middle School teachers made preliminary recommendations to be shared with NBTHS leadership back in January. And these teachers know your students, they know who you are, and we trust their recommendations. The NBTHF staff will assign 9th grade electives, and as we move forward, you'll see that for next year, for 2021 school year, our challenge forms are due April 1st. And we can talk more about that as we progress through the school year. Now, on a typical school day, a student will have 8 classes. However, the schedule rotates through 6 sessions a day. That means 2 classes are dropped each day. Classes on a typical day are 54 minutes, lunch is about 30 minutes, and if we were in school, passing time would be 5 minutes. These are links to resources through our guidance department, and they can help you navigate and move through the information that you'll need to succeed at NBTHS this year. As we move through our presentation, we know as graduates of Linwood that we use Genesis and the parent portal. And if you have an account from Linwood, you're active in the system. So you continue to use the same login and password as you did. Remember, all of our report cards and interim reports and all of those things are posted to the portal. And those things are no longer mailed home. So you can find all of your report cards, all of your progress reports. They're all found through the parent portal. Once you do have a parent portal login, you can find out what your schedule is, and that will be opened sometime next week. We will be making an announcement to you when that will happen. If you have any questions about your login or password, please communicate with one of the house leaders and their emails, which you will find at the end of this presentation. Eventually, we hope to move into a traditional school day. Hopefully, one day we will get there. And when we get there, you'll be able to identify on your schedule our 4-day rotational schedule. And you'll see that there are days 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there's a different rotation set each day. On day 1, periods 4 and 8 drop. On day 2, periods 1 and 5 drop. On day 3, 2 and 6. On day 4, 3 and 7. It's a bit overwhelming now, but once you get into the groove, you'll understand and really feel how it works. Well, the staff members are here to help you. Administrators are here to help you. The custodians will help you. This is a great place to be. People want to help you succeed. No one wants to see anyone flounder or fail. When you do get a good look at your schedule, you'll be able to see what's going on, who the teachers are, where the classrooms are, when the class meets. So you know that if you are, in this particular case, on day 0, you'll see that, hey, I have CP Italian period 1 that class meets on days 1, 3, and 4. So I know on 1, 3, and 4 I have Italian. Getting to school is always an issue. Getting to school is something that we need to take seriously. Being late to school threatens the amount of seat time that you have in a class. If you don't have enough seat time in the class, you are in jeopardy of losing credit for that class. So punctuality matters. Being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, matters. So, late to school. If you're late to school, you have to go directly to the main office, where you will meet with the attendance officers, whether it be Miss Barkley or Miss Simone. They will mark you in and give you a pass to proceed to class. If you arrive after school or after 10, 12 in the morning, this can be considered as an unexcused absence, as you've missed more than half of the day. Again, if you're late to school, please go directly to the main office. When we are in school, again, being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there matters. Late to class. And now in the beginning, when we get back into a traditional school day, when we get there, we're all going to be walking around, we're all going to be walking on eggshells, and we understand that. But eventually, we're going to need to understand to be where we're supposed to be, when we're supposed to be there. In a traditional school day, we will provide services such as peer tutoring. They're available for all core subjects during both lunch periods in the MRC. We have 2 lunch periods, A and B, during a traditional school day. We will also provide peer tutoring after school in the MRC. Again, in a traditional school day, when students are in here every day, we will have late bus runs. They're on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. You can sign up in the reception booth. Must have student ID, and the only way to sign up for the bus is using this link. Just click the link and you're good to go. Again, Club Fest is going to be September 15th. More info to come. It will be in your Google Classroom for the class of 2024. For all of our Spanish-speaking constituents, if you need or have any questions, you can talk to Mr. Feliz, and this is his email here. I want to thank you all for your patience and understanding during this presentation. You can communicate with us via email, and you can find those slides early on in the presentation. But now, let's take a few moments and take a look at our virtual tour of NBTHS. Okay, folks, since we cannot get you into the building, we're going to bring the building to you. We're going to take you on a virtual tour of NBTHS. We start here in Patio A, our main entrance to the building, the one you will use if you take the bus. As we enter the building, you will notice a new stairway on the left and the security reception desk immediately in front of you. If you need a replacement ID or your parents drop something off for you, this is where you'll pick it up. As we continue, entering the building to the right, we enter the Commons. On the right is the main office, where I reside with Mr. Neller, and the attendance office is here as well. We now stand looking into the Commons. This is one of 2 locations to eat breakfast and lunch. Certain school events are held here after school in the evenings. On the right are the 100 classrooms, and down the hall through the glass doors is the MRC, the Media Resource Center. Students may use the MRC with a pass from a teacher. Study hall teachers do not give passes to the MRC. There are some computers and printers available for use in the MRC. Let's walk back out into the Commons. With Patio A to our left, we look right in the Commons and see the nurse's office. On the far wall next to the nurse is the school store. The school store is open before school, at lunch, and some days after school. The store is run by students in DECA. They sell snacks, school supplies, and fan gear. The main school bathrooms are just beyond the store, and we go through another set of doors, and we see the trophy case in front of us. Looking left from the trophy case is a hallway that leads to the team rooms and auxiliary gym 2. The girls' locker room is also on the left of the trophy case. As we swing around to the right, we see the main gym door and the boys' locker room. Physical education classes, pep rallies, and certain sports games and practices take place in the gym. Let's back out of the gym and head right. Classrooms opposite the gym are numbered in the 400s. You also see patio C out of the door. But these doors are not used to enter the building and are only used to exit the building in the event of an emergency or at the end of the school day. We turn left and head down the hallway. Let's turn right to the 500 classrooms. Generally, the 500 classrooms house world language and the business classes, and of course, some health and phys ed classes. Also, these 500 classrooms will be your freshman homerooms. Let's turn right back around and head back to the commons. That is the side gym door in front of you. Take a left and then a right, and we're back at the commons, the hub of North Brunswick Township High School. As we head back through the commons, back towards the front, patio A, where we began, we're going to go down the side hallway towards the new part of the building. This hallway is directly opposite of the main office. Down this corridor, straight ahead, is the new cafeteria. On the left is the guidance office. All of scheduling, post-secondary information can be found in this office. Further down is a child study team. In front of us now is the new cafeteria. This is the other area of the school where lunch is served and eaten. The new caf is where breakfast is served in the morning. As we go out the opposite end of the cafeteria, we go down the steps to the auditorium. The main part of the new area of the building. Classrooms in this area are numbered in the 200s. To the left of the auditorium is the art hallway. As we walk, you can see there is a staircase to the left. There is an elevator in the alcove. As we turn into the art hallway, we see classrooms on the left. Classes like photography, ceramics, and drawing are in this area. Behind the art on the right is the access to the auditorium and lecture halls. Let's take a U-turn and head back to the front of the auditorium. Here's a better look at the staircase and elevator. As we walk back to the front of the auditorium, let's see what is to the right of it. Through the doors ahead, behind the glass windows, is the TV and radio area. As we turn left, we move down the music hallway. To the orchestra and choir rooms, and all the way down at the end is the band room. These hallways aren't always crowded, but we recorded over the summer when cleaning was taking place. This ends our first floor tour. Let's quickly head back to patio A, where we first came in. We go past the auditorium, the new cafeteria, the child study team, guidance, the commons, and the main office on the way back. All right, let's head up these stairs. It can be a little tricky. The important thing is to remember that classes numbered 100 through 500 are on the first floor, while 600 through 900 are on the second floor. Math, science, and history classes are located on the second floor. As we get to the top of the stairs, we notice the red stripe on the wall. This corner of the stairwell A is designated as red and will help you keep track of where you are. To the right is the 600 classrooms. 600 classrooms are mainly social studies and history. There are cutouts with classrooms to make space in the hallways. As we continue moving forward, you will see the glass staircase. This is the front of the triangle. This staircase is not to be used by students and is kept locked. On the second floor, there is a triangle in the middle of the main floor, with classrooms along the outside walls. As we continue to move forward, you'll see the classrooms on the right are the 600 classrooms, and on the left of the triangle are the 900s. When we get back, classrooms numbered 700s, and in the green corner appears. There are cutouts for the 700s classrooms, and we make a left to go down the opposite side of the triangle. Again, classrooms on the left of the triangle are numbered 900s, and now the classrooms on the right are in the 700s. Both 900 and 700 classrooms are generally math classes. Up ahead, we see a blue corner, and we turn left again, walking down the third side of the triangle. On the left, still 900 classrooms, and on the right are now 800 classrooms. These 800 classrooms are science and some social studies. As we get to the end of the hallway, we see the red corner again, completing our trip around the triangle. There is another hallway called the front glass bridge with a mural on the right wall and windows on the left. This hallway heads over to the new part of the building where all of the classrooms are numbered in the 800s. There are two main hallways on the second floor of this part of the building. First hallway is where you see the ELA classrooms, English Language Arts. The corridor between the hallways has ramps. The ELA classrooms and lecture hall access are here. The other hallway in this part of the building is mainly science classrooms and science labs. There's also a back glass hallway that will take you to the back of the old part of the 700 wing by the triangle. So as you can see, NBTHS is a big school, but it is fairly easy to get around. Once you understand the lay of the land, you'll understand how to move about the building. There are 6 staircases between the first and second floors, and there are 2 elevators for students and staff that need them, that must have a pass to use them. If you ever have any questions, ask a teacher, ask an administrator, or even a custodian. We're always happy to help you. This concludes our virtual tour. Once again, if you have any questions, you can email any of us. And thank you for your time and patience. Welcome to Raider Nation.